Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy O'Dane Gibson,
And your girl, Quanzela Brian.
and I'm with my bro Patrick,
Patrick Coleman, P3 Lotus Living.
CEO. But yeah, man, Patrick, I wanted you to come through today, man, cause we've been kicking it for a little while. I known you for a little bit, and I just feel like you have a lot to say, man, especially when it comes into this like the healthy way of living, you know what I'm saying, the good lifestyle, you know what I mean, and I feel like you have some knowledge, and I would love for you to share it with the world, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me here and, all of your audience.
Hey, man, we out here. So how's everything been with you, man?
Everything has been good, just a lot of learning. It's been a great experience. I mean, in this life, it's like you get humbled sometimes,
Oh, for real.
Yeah, you go into things thinking and then, hey.
Hey, man, it'd be like that, man. But it's great, man. We're here to live. We're here to experience. We're here to just live, man, and be happy. And
that's it.
So how you feeling, Zale?
Good. I'm actually excited. I want to get some information because I'm into herbs. I'm into the whole naturalistic type of lifestyle, holistic way of living. So I want to see what I can get from today's podcast.
Man.
But yeah.
So I want to start out with like a question to you, like what is the biggest issue you see today in like the medical field, like the medical world?
Well, I think it's all information. Information is power. And it's not about problems that I see. I just see that there are different languages that we're speaking. Like, if we just, as far as the holistic space and the so-called, traditional medicine, if we could just communicate together, we could help each other to grow.
True.
So, I don't really see a problem per se. I just see that there's a lot of individuals who just want to stick to one, their own base, and create that separation. But as I see, things going right now, I see a lot of doctors starting to appreciate the holistic
stuff,
benefits towards, and how that benefits them, and so that they could treat their patient and improve their patient's, lifestyle.
Now, one thing I can say, just speaking of like with doctors actually listening to their patients more and actually understanding more of the holistic approach to life, I saw an ad the other day, and it was for a doctor's office, but they were actually pushing the agenda of just holistic health. Like, yeah, we are still doctors, but we understand if you don't believe in vaccines for your child, or if you don't believe in, certain medicines or things that they're finding in a lot of medicines that they're using nowadays, if you don't want to go that route, then they were there to create an entire plan for your life, your child's life, how that's going to grow into their adulthood life and things like that. But I do also see a big difference in diet. Everyone's been pushing vegan, but I don't think everyone really knows how to be vegan. I hear a lot of people that are just like, I'm going to eat some fruits and veggies, but it doesn't exactly entail a completely nutritious diet. So what are some tips that you could probably give for maybe people that are looking to pivot to a vegan lifestyle, maybe things you need to look out for? Or if you are fully vegan, how can you supplement other things into your diet to have it like a wholesome, nutritious plan?
Well, going back to the doctors and them appreciating holistic and, nutrition and stuff like that, I just want to add that from my history and me getting into this whole, world of, holistic, a holistic lifestyle, I wouldn't say that I was always like this, and if it wasn't for a doctor, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So let me just give you a little history of, how I became part of this and was so deep into it, because, sometimes you can just dibble dabble, but I made a serious commitment when I almost died. So when I was in university, my junior year, I started experiencing some symptoms that was I'd been known to me. It was just I would get up in the morning and I couldn't get up in the morning.
It's like you
Basically.
say up, but you can't get up.
No. I could not get up in the
cannot
morning.
get out of bed. Oh,
right.
wow.
And when I go to bed at night, I couldn't swallow. Like, think about you can't even swallow your own spit.
Right.
You feel like you're choking. So, and then I started experiencing like a lot, getting hot all the time. And, I played Division I soccer in college. I went to Central Connecticut State, and we were very competitive. And I realized that I couldn't even run a mile. Well, I used to run 10 miles without even breathing hard.
So you just went from running 10 miles to just can't even run
not
more.
even running a mile.
Wow.
Right.
So, my thing was, I was just like every young man. I had, girls and stuff like that. So I was like, man, what could be happening? This back in the 90s, So I'm like, I got to eliminate all the possible diseases I could eliminate.
That's true.
So I started going to the clinic and getting all these STD tests. I went I was in there. They told me not to come back because I was wasting.
You're wasting time.
Yeah.
You're good. There's
Like,
no
I'm
that's
wasting
not
money.
it.
Yeah. So, you're fine. You don't have that. But I'm like, something is going on.
Wrong.
So, anyway, they couldn't help me. And they were like, whatever. But I could tell that I was sick. I had a lump in my throat. It started protruding out. And then I had another lump right here that was growing. My eyes started protruding out of my head.
So wait, they see all that and still tell you that you was good?
So
It's
funniest
all-
thing is one of my last visit to the clinic, because at that time, if you had an STD, that was like, very, like one of those bad STDs, like HIV
Like your
or whatever.
lymph node and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. If you went to your private doctor, your PCP, that would be on your medical record back in the 90s.
Wow.
But if you go to the clinic, you're only a number. So it's just, it's anonymous.
There's no name, nothing.
There's no name.
Word.
Oh, wow.
So, I decided I'm going to go there just in case. So anyway, one of my last visit there, they actually told me not to come back. Yeah, they said don't come back, And, I don't get me wrong. I was kind of a hypochondriac. I was getting really kind of something's going on with me, and I was just like, researching a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, I had these symptoms for a while, years. And then I ended up going to UConn Medical Center, and I sat down with the head of they found out that I had hyperthyroidism, which is Graves' disease. After many tests and me just refusing to leave after a little while. And I was recommended to go to the endocrinology department there, and they found out that, I had a very serious case of Graves' disease or hyperthyroidism. And at that time, I was a young man, I didn't really know much about anything. I was a full idiot. I ate everything too. I was eating like crazy because, I would eat so much, because when you have hyperthyroidism, your metabolism gets higher.
Oh.
Everything gets higher.
So you just find yourself just eating.
Right.
Word.
Your adrenaline is higher. Your metabolism is higher. You could eat like crazy. You never get full. It was a bottomless pit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you just keep losing weight. You keep losing weight. You're like, what?
What?
Yeah, you just keep losing weight,
Wow.
and you're eating more than you ever ate before. So I met with this doctor. His name was Dr. Shukri. And he said, he gave me my 3 options. One of the options was cut my throat from here to here and take my whole thyroid out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the other option was iodine therapy, where they would give you like a high dose of iodine in a pill form, and it's like chemotherapy. Yeah, it was a tough experience. and that would kill off your thyroid producing hormones and bring you to an underactive level. And then they would give you this thing called Synthroid, and that would bring you back to normal.
Okay.
And then the third option was not a choice because it was worse than both of those.
What was that? What was the third option?
I don't even remember.
It was like I removed that from my brain. I don't want it there.
Yeah, it
We're
was
not
like
going there.
it was like worse than those other two. So I'm like, I don't even care about
That's
that
not
third
happening.
option. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen. So when I went for my pre-op visit, because it's really an outpatient surgery, so they got to put you through all this stuff.
Okay.
They found out that I was close to what's called a thyroid storm, where your thyroid would collapse and would put all the pressure on your heart.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know if you know anything about that, but
I know nothing about it.
So I worked for two insurance companies in my past.
Okay.
While I was in Connecticut. I worked for Connecticut Insurance for like almost 5-6 years, and I worked for Aetna for about a year. And whenever because I suffered from this when I was in college, so I would watch the patients who was diagnosed with a thyroid storm, and in like 30 to 90 days, once the diagnosis was
Given?
charted, because I did claims and stuff. Once the diagnosis was given, after 3 months, you never saw the patient anymore.
That's
Why is that?
They never made it.
I was about
Oh,
to
they
say.
died.
Yeah,
God.
it's a critical.
They get a
disease.
diagnosis
So
and then
pr-
3 months later.
So
they're
pretty
gone.
much once you get that, you just know you on your way to
You're
your
done.
deathbed. You're done.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's worse than a heart attack.
Wow.
And then there's nothing else for your body to depend on. When your thyroid collapse, everything shuts down.
Done.
But kudos to my doctor. I actually got a great doctor, and his name was Dr. Shukri. I know shouldn't have said his name, but I'm young in my 20s, and I walk in there, and he gives me what they're gonna do, or what they can do for me. And I said to him, man, bro, I did the research, and all of these things that you could do. Firstly, to take my thyroid out, we're not gonna do that. And then the iodine therapy, I'm considering that,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna take a pill for the rest of my life after you do all of this stuff. You're about to like kill all my cells or cut my neck, take out body parts, and I'm still gonna have to take a medicine for the rest of
That's
my life.
insane,
Yes.
man.
And then not only was that like bad enough, but the side effects of the
So
medicine.
you gotta go through. Nah.
Yeah, it's
It's almost like it probably be better dying if you gotta go through all of that.
I
man.
know.
or
That's
at least
insane.
trying a holistic route. Like, let me see if I can heal this myself.
Exactly. So one of the crazy side effects was moon face.
What's that?
So I don't know if you know what, like when you look at the moon, think about a face protruding itself through. Your face start looking like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So now my eyes look like they're bulging out of my head. My face gonna look like it's bulging out of a moon. And the next one, I'm 20-something years old. Impotence. So all of these different side effects, I'd have to like done myself.
That's
Like,
that's wild, man.
Yeah.
my
It's
life
like
would
just
be
you
over
telling
in my
me this
20s.
right now is like stressing me
Yeah.
out, man. It's like,
Yeah.
God.
So, my life would have been done
Wow.
before it even started. Here I am. I'm a young man, D1 ball player.
Right.
I had a decent run, but I'm not done yet.
I'm just getting
Right.
started.
Right.
Yeah, scared to go up to a woman because you can't do nothing because you got to take all these pills. So I said, Dr. Shukri, I know I'm young and I don't know anything, but, I heard that this is caused by stress, the disease.
Wow.
So, I'm just not going to stress no more. And he started laughing. He's like, nah, that's not how it works, Patrick. And he was so nice to me. He listened to me like a man. You know,
Yeah.
we're two men speaking.
He's not trying to get rid of you, like, man, this
Yeah,
guy's
it's
done.
not like he was like looking at me like, yo, you just a stupid kid.
It's over with.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm a doctor. I'm the head of the endocrinology department.
Right.
He didn't do that. I said, you know what? I'm not trying to disrespect you, but you're gonna be my technician on this one, right? Because if all of those things happen and I got to be on a pill, you know, I'm not gonna make it.
Right.
And so I said, you know, just be my technician right now, and you know, just give me the least dose of your iodine, and I'm just gonna change my lifestyle. I didn't know how I was gonna do it,
But you just know you're gonna do. You
but
gotta
I
do
knew I was
something
gonna
different.
do it through a holistic lifestyle, and I just from there, he just listened to me, and we spoke like two grown-ups, you know, and he saved my life.
Wow.
He saved my life, and in less a year and a half after that, I totally recovered. I started playing ball at a high level again.
Wow.
I wasn't playing D1 ball no more. This is, you know, I was out of school at this time. I was playing like, you know, state ball and city ball. I was fitter than ever before.
Wow. So did he like guide you to through your lifestyle change, or that's something you just kind of like pretty much kind of like learn through experience? Like how did
Yeah,
you?
like what did
Did he
you
like?
do?
Yeah.
Well, he just did what I asked him to do.
Which
I
was
asked
giving you
him
the-
to just, you know, work with me, give me the most minimal, so I could get my levels just where I needed to be, and then from there, through, you know, holistic lifestyle, meaning eating well, you know, not stressing, learning how to meditate,
Okay.
just being more present, aware of, you know, myself, you know, trying to find a way to, you know, relieve the suffering that caused this. Because as I researched, I found out that, you know, hypothyroidism was an autoimmune disease. That's where you have
okay.
toxins around your thyroid, and then, you know, the cells that are around that area, they start oxidizing, meaning that the electrons start, like, you know, dying in these cells, because it's so polluted with toxins, right? That the cells found a way to exist before their shelf life gave out. Like every cell in your body has a shelf life in the different communities or different organs. So in that area, whatever the length of time that those cells should normally live, they were dying before that. Okay, the time that that area is supposed to last. Let's say your digestive lining.
Okay.
They last between 3 to 5 days. But if you have a lot of toxins in your gut, they start dying before that. You know, so say the 3 to 5 days is called the apoptosis date. So that's the date that all the cells elect to die, 3 to 5 days.
Wow.
In your digestive lining.
I had no idea.
Right. So every organ in your body have that. Your skin, they die every 38
So
days.
pretty much all your cells, your organs,
Every cell in your
have an
body
expiration date.
has an expiration
Wow.
date. And if your body becomes toxic or too acidic and it can't maintain that date,
It's gonna die before that date, or
sometimes because the cells are just adapting. I mean, they have a survival mode, just like you fully have
Yeah.
a survival. Every cell in your body have a survival mode or a survival blueprint, you know, within it.
yeah.
So what happened is, you know, the cells try to find a way to survive. You know, so when the electrons in there die, typically the cells die. But then they start adapting because the area is so polluted,
Yeah.
so toxic, that they start learning how to survive. And what they start doing, they start becoming terrorists. And whenever the new cells start coming in,
They
they
take
start
over.
stealing their
Start stealing-
electrons.
Yep.
And
Wow.
they start then they find out that, yo, it's better for us to group up as a gang
So now
Like, you know.
basically
An attack.
forget my
Yeah.
dude. Like forget my duty. We at war now. See.
Yep, we're at war. So they start arming themselves with, you know, they start building like an army.
Army to
And they start going around and saying, yo, that one got an electron over there. Let's go.
I need
You gotta
that.
go get
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
and they just team up.
Wow.
And it's the same thing with cancer, the same thing with
I was about to
lupus,
say, isn't that like tumors? That's how tumors start. And then it just
tumors.
turns into
Yeah, so
masses.
yeah, all of those things.
Wow.
So that's, you know, whenever a person says they have an autoimmune disease, it just means that their body is toxic or acidic. The person has cancer, toxic, acidic. All of these diseases out here caused from inflammation, toxicity.
Yeah.
I was about to say
acidity.
toxicity.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we live in a toxic world now. So.
Exactly. So basically, you know, luckily I had a doctor that was like mad cool. You know, he had the ability to communicate with a dude that knew nothing, and he allowed me the space to like learn and start healing myself.
Yeah.
Through the power of God, and because I feel like when you reach a space where you're open to receive information, right, from your environment, that is what God is. God is that intelligence that gives it to you, but you gotta know how to receive it.
that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to have that power to receive, or that openness to receive that information that's coming through, and let it guide you to where you need to go. And that was the start of it. And you know, it's so funny because I remember going to this little Chinese herb shop. I knew. Don't get me wrong. You know, we come from Jamaica.
Jamaica.
yo.
So yeah,
we grew up around herbs.
I was
herbs,
about to say.
drinking tea, all
Yeah.
types of yeah.
But you know,
But
we take it for granted.
No, man. I went back to Jamaica recently, bro, and I saw like, you know, Cersei, Permanente. Man, I went back and I was like, damn, man, like I can't believe I took all this stuff for granted, man.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We have all the herbs we need in Jamaica. So
Like my grandmother, you know, I grew up with my grandmother from I was 6 months old in a country, like deep in another country, yo, where dog don't even bark after dark.
like
yo.
we up in the ears.
Yeah,
in
we
the
don't even
ears.
have light. I didn't.
no street lights.
Bro, I didn't have electricity until I was like 6 years old.
What
Wow.
parish was that?
My grandmother was a teacher down in St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth.
And then when she retired, when I was 9 years old, we moved to South Manchester.
Manchester,
Hermitage, yeah. And, you know, we had lights there, but, you know, we really didn't have no TV or nothing that. But my grandmother used to, when I came to America, I got lost in the American culture, you know, eating pizza and yo, I thought pizza was the nastiest thing in the world when I first came here.
For real.
I lived in Brooklyn, right? Best pizza in the world. Yeah, so I came up here, you know, and, you know, I taste this thing called pizza. I almost threw up.
Wait,
I was
what
like,
the
that's
what is this?
nasty.
What's
yeah.
that?
Yeah, you know, in Jamaica, yo, the only cheese we had, right, was that canned cheese.
Like that, and that's we only eat cheese mostly on Easter time because we don't really eat cheese like a lot in
Right,
Jamaica.
right.
So Easter we eat bun and cheese. That's our tradition,
Exactly.
but we don't really eat cheese a lot. So I
Right.
feel you.
But food with cheese kind of different.
It's different, bro.
Well-
Our cheese tastes like cheese.
Right, it tastes like cheese, yo. So when I came here, man, and this pizza was like, mozzarella
Mozzarella.
cheese or
What
whatever.
is that?
I was like, oh, I was like, oh man. But by the time I went to school that fall, man, peer pressure got to me. I was like eating pizza like
All types of stuff.
every day. Sicilian pizza, flat pan.
Yeah.
Man, that was my thing. By the time I got to college, oh man.
It's going crazy.
Pizza.
It was a whole Domino's, like a whole pie.
Just stacked up.
No,
man.
just me. I had to have a whole pie by myself.
For yourself.
The whole,
Wow.
Yep. That's how we live. And then, you know, hash browns. Never had that in Jamaica.
We don't have that stuff in Jamaica.
Right.
That stuff
you
is
know,
crazy.
pancakes I don't know about you. You're younger than me, but I don't remember ever eating pancakes back home.
Bro, I don't remember ever eating
You know?
pancakes in Jamaica at all.
Nah, I didn't eat no pancakes. We ate some cereal.
I mean, it's there, but
Yeah.
I don't remember eating none of that
Right.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
In the morning, like, we wake up, my mom, we make tea. She cooks some yams, some bananas, some saltfish, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, or some eggs or whatnot. But all the extra stuff, nah, we don't.
Nah, you know.
That sounds a little different.
We
I'm
eat
not even gonna
food.
Lie. Yeah, but okay, never
We
mind.
eat-
Just
we eat
different
food.
traditions, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because then there's the whole like Southern dishes and stuff like that for breakfast, which I guess everybody has a different definition.
Man.
That's just interesting.
Callaloo is my thing, man. Callaloo every day.
Callaloo.
Callaloo and banana.
Banana, bro. Whoa.
Yeah, green bananas and callaloo and yam.
So pretty much collard greens. Callaloo, it's collard
I
greens.
asked you that before,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah, so coming up here and eating, you know, the traditional
process,
American
the process,
food.
crazy
It is,
stuff.
yeah, it's very
It
different.
didn't help me, and my body just rejected it and got really sick. And you know, so after that experience, you know, I started getting into herbs. And you know, my grandmother used to send up a whole bunch of herbs to me, like sarsaparilla, chini root, all kind of things, sericity. And it just used to be under the
Just
the
sitting there,
cupboard.
and just dry up, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. You know, so
yeah.
my virgin used to come over my house and say, "Yo, Patrick, where you get all of them things are from?" He's from Kingston. So yeah, my granny keeps sending up all of them things.
Yeah.
So my youth, you need to
If
take
you
them
use
things
them,
up. Yeah.
yeah.
And you know, just from there, just started, you know, working with what I knew in Jamaica. And then I started researching, like, you know, traditional Chinese medicine, you know, TCM, Ayurvedic medicine, and what other countries, like, you know, other cultures, you know, how they eat and live. I'm going to say, wait a minute. This is not different from Rasta. You know, I'm familiar with Rasta because I'm from the country,
from
you
the-
know,
yeah.
I've whooped a Rasta. So I'm like, man, this is just like the Rasta culture, man. So I just started implementing a lot of the different stuff that, you know, traditional Chinese, Taoism, tradition or way of life, talk about. And I just used what I knew about Rasta, and I just used the best of traditional Chinese medicine, the best of Ayurvedic medicine, and the best of Rasta culture. And I just started living my life like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and not only was my body getting healed, but my mind.
Mind, everything.
Yeah.
Stuff lifts it.
Man, it's like, you know, I realized that I never smiled in my life. I would laugh at people.
But like sitting there and just smiling just because like you just feel good. Like you never
Just having a beautiful smile on my face was not
not something
I never remember having in my life. Like, you know, just being present with myself, being aware of myself.
That's a good one, because I was actually going to ask. I know I've heard a lot about athletes, and a lot of athletes, especially when you start young, they do run into, like, you know, medical complications later on in life. But I was also thinking, how old were you when you came over to America?
I was 15.
Okay. So you were still pretty set in your culture and your traditions and things like that. But it's back to, you know, like your strands of DNA, right? If you hadn't already been introduced to these foods and all of the toxicity that we have over in America, it probably definitely took a toll on your body, right?
Absolutely.
So your cells start to change and things like that. But going all the way down to chakras, you know, your cells become contaminated, and then that just leads to your overall aura. Your body and immune system becomes weakened and things like that. So they always say to eat living cells, wholesome foods, right? And I can actually see that, you know, obviously changing your cells, and so you're going to feel better. But as far as your mind, I never really thought about the toll that would take on your mind. I heard a lot of people say, though, that going vegan actually kind of helped cure their depression a little bit, I guess, because it kind of uplifts their mood and their aura and all of that. But, yeah, as far as your healing, what are like 3 top things you would say probably healed you?
The first thing that that healed me, that started healing me, was food. You know, being more aware of my diet, and even though I wasn't full vegan when I started healing, I you know, I don't really like to use the word vegan or vegetarian or, you know, ital as much. Ital
I tell.
means it's like a vegan style. Ital is vegan or vegetarian. And it just means natural with a spiritual connection. The I is the spirit, and then the tal is the natural.
Yeah, that's typically how, like Rastafari. That's how that's how
Yeah.
they actually describe their food.
Right.
Okay.
And there are different levels to it. Like some people believe that, you know, ital is, you know, you can eat fish, seafood, while some people believe it's straight vegetables.
Vegetables.
And some people believe no fire should touch their food.
Just raw, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No salt, no sugar, none of that.
Yeah, no salt, no sugar, no dairy, stuff like that.
Okay.
So there are different levels to ital
Okay.
living, you know. So basically, I progressed into it until one point I was actually, you know, like I said, I don't like to identify myself, but pretty much vegan, straight ital, meaning not raw, but, you know, no meat.
No meat.
Okay.
So I've gone to straight into all of those phases. But you know, the biochemical part of the energy that was coming into my body was the first step. Like, for example, we're gonna go back to that, but let me pivot to this real quick. I believe that there are 5 energy forms that our environment consists of.
Okay.
Biochemical energy, mechanical energy, that's your movement. Biochemical is food, water, and air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanical energy or biomechanics is how you move, how you're aware of the movement in your body, and also the natural movement around you, like dogs, squirrels, other human beings, trees, birds, and all of that stuff.
Okay.
All of that has impact on you. Photon energy, light and darkness. So you have to have so much light during the daytime and so much darkness at night. Those are all energies that feed your body. Okay? Ultrasound, natural sounds. Everything in life has a particular frequency.
Frequency, yeah.
You know, some frequency are loving frequency and some frequency are fearful frequency. You have to be exposed to. I try to get as much loving frequency, 528, 432, 963, from 432 up of frequency as possible, because I believe that that influences a lot of movement in my body and my mind. You know, thermal energy, you know, hot and cold. Like I told you earlier before we were on camera, I haven't turned on my AC in my house for 5 years. And in the wintertime, I never turn my heat up to more than like 67 or 66. Right, because I want my body, to naturally
Regulate.
acclimate itself to the temperature that I'm going to walk in and out of my house.
Okay.
You know, and in the summertime, it's my favorite time because I don't have to turn on anything. You know what I'm saying? And I sleep with all my windows, every window in my house is open.
I would too.
Yeah. So, you know, well, I have to because there's no AC.
Yeah.
You know,
Some
but
circulation.
OG will tell you where I live is nothing but trees.
Trees all around.
And, you know, it's like really, you would think you're in Alabama where I live because it's, well, even worse, like the Amazon forest, because there's so much trees. So that offer a little bit of shade and a better, you know, breeze and stuff like that. But I really think that, you know, keeping my body at a homeostasis, a balance at most of my day really offers a good energy to me too. So those are the 5 energy. Did I hit 5? I think I did.
Yeah, you did hit
Those are the
5,
5 major energy that influences me. You know what I'm saying? That influence my body. Now, I believe that energy that comes in brings information. And that information will then create thoughts in my head. Those thoughts then create emotional, activities in my body. Like it tells me, like if I'm in a space where it's super hot that it's uncomfortable, I'm going to be very aggressive and very uncomfortable. If I'm in cold, where I'm not going to feel the same, and my body won't feel the same. I'm going to be at dis-ease because the cold is going to it's going to send certain, it's going to make me have certain emotional feelings, and then I'm going to have certain feelings that's going to send signals to every cell to try to work hard.
Sorry, did you just say dis-ease?
Yes.
Yeah, dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
Yeah, it's going to make me uneasy.
And that's a disease.
And over time, that disease is going to create a disease.
And that's what I was getting at with the chakras, as far as like your environment when you came over to America, and your aura actually being weakened because of the amount of stress and anxiety that you were under. I know studying chakras, they say like stress actually corrodes your arteries, and when that weakens you, then you're more susceptible to different sicknesses.
So let's look at the word stress.
We can't bring it back down. You go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, let's look at the word stress, right? What is stress? Remember, I told my doctor I won't be stressed anymore.
Hey, turn your liberty. There you go. Turn your mic a little bit more. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, bro.
And now, me and this man had this conversation, and I don't know anything. I'm a full idiot at this time, right? I'm 20-something years old. I'm sitting in front of him. I'm like, I won't be stressed anymore. And he's like, there's no way you can't be stressed, Patrick, right? And I'm like, so isn't stress relative? I'm like, I don't know where that came from. Yeah. I have no idea what relativity is. I mean, I'm not that smart, And I'm here talking relativity like I'm Einstein to this friggin' smart head of
probably was a professor or something.
The dude is the top endocrinologist at one of the major, like a Yale University, UConn Medical Center. And I'm like, isn't stress relative? And he's like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And I was like, so then I won't be stressed no more. So anyway, over my research, I realized that this is what stress is. And it's much simpler than we think. So stress is any influence that's coming in, right? Whatever the influence that's coming in is how you respond to it. As simple as that. And there's only two responses you can have to an influence. You could react to it.
You can reject that.
Or you could relate to it.
Wow.
So say, for example, there is something that's coming in, like I said, cold before. That temperature comes in, right? I'm exposed to this cold.
Yeah.
Say my body is reacting to the cold. It's gonna give me I'm gonna be allergic to that cold, or I'm gonna formulate a dis-ease to that cold. Say, I'm one of those persons who enjoy the cold, and the cold comes in. I'm gonna relate to it. So I'm not gonna have no problem with it. I'm gonna have no problem with it. So I'm gonna be like, oh, I love this.
I love the cold.
Right. And I'm gonna be chilling like, yeah, I'm cool. So basically, if somebody comes to me and they try to influence me in a negative way or whatever, some crazy person, it's for me to say, yo, am I gonna be crazy with this person? Or I'm gonna laugh at them like, yo, I realize you're crazy. I'm not gonna add no craziness to you.
Yeah.
And I do that to every part of my life now. So, food.
So is that the relate part or the react?
Well, the relate part is me laughing. Like, yo.
Okay.
You're acting crazy right now. I mean, do you need a hug?
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Or, I'm trying to relate with you. I'm trying to get. Yeah.
And if I can't, if I can't laugh at you because you're really, really crazy, I'm just gonna remove myself. I'm not gonna stress myself. Foods, things I consume. I realized certain foods don't agree with me. So, over the years, so I just don't eat it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take, you know, some kind of Pepto-Bismol because I'm eating too much meat, because the Pepto-Bismol has pepsin in it. Which
I
will
just
help.
think that's just crazy, man.
Yeah, or I'm not gonna eat lactose tablets because I drank milk.
I want to drink milk. Like,
Yeah, like it don't agree with me. So I'm not gonna drink it. Like,
my thing is just don't drink milk.
exactly.
Why are you gonna take more chemicals to allow you to drink more
Drink
chemicals?
more- exactly. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So, so I just don't drink it. Or, I'm not gonna go to bed at 2:00 and know I gotta wake up.
5.
I'm a personal trainer. I get up at
4.
3:30.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So, right. I'm not gonna go to bed at like 12:00, 1:00, 2:00, and know that I gotta get up in 1 or 3 hours, and I gotta drink Red Bull to keep
Yeah.
going, or coffee,
Yeah.
knowing that my body just is gonna react to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's all about preparation and me knowing myself. And that's another thing. I started asking the question, who am I? I started trying to find out who I was. But all of that came from me just changing my diet, number one. That was the number one thing. Changing my diet to, a more plant-based diet. And I started realizing that helped me with just feeling more relaxed, feeling more relaxed. And I realized that when I ate meat, after not eating meat for like 3 months, I tried it. I said, I'm not going to eat meat for 3 months. And I tried it. It was hard because, I love my rice and peas and chicken.
Yeah, of
I love my
course.
curry
Gravy,
I love
all
my
that.
oxtail. I love all of them things, all right?
I'm good. It's
So,
good.
right. So I said, man, I'm not going to eat meat for like 3 months. I probably made it 3 months or close to it. And then, man, I went and ate some meat. I don't remember what it was. I think it was probably chicken. And I could smell the food decomposing in
In
my
your body?
body.
God.
Yo, I could smell it. I could smell the meat rotting in my body, man.
But like you're literally putting dead cells in your body. For real.
You are. You really are. And that's what people have to be more conscious of.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just not good. And then I hear about, like all of these health documentaries, but just like these animals being slaughtered and all of the chemicals that are being stored within their tissue as they're being slaughtered and just scared for their lives. And then you're consuming all of that anxiety and stress. And
'Cause like you were saying earlier, everything is like it's energy. You know what I'm saying? Frequency. So like talking about the cows, the slaughtering and stuff like that. I mean, they feel that pain. They feel they feel fearful as well. You know what I'm saying? That's storing their food, their DNA, and you're eating that. So now all their fears and pain is now in your body, in your system.
mm-hmm.
So there's a chart out there, right? Which is called like it's like a human chart. How you can chart yourself and see you at the healthiest level, frequency wise, and you at the lowest level, frequency wise. So they say the healthy human vibrates at a frequency of 62 to 78 megahertz per second.
Wow.
So if you're between 62 and 78 megahertz, most viruses, funguses, and parasites cannot thrive in
They
your
can't
body.
thrive in that. Oh,
Right.
I think that's me. I'm just kidding.
Right. So, basically we can't stop parasites, funguses, viruses, and certain bad bacteria from entering this little space we call, the body, right? Because we are vibrating. We're just vibrating. Our body is just a number of cells vibrating at a certain frequency
really
that holds you together.
Holds you
Yeah.
together.
Right, because vibration holds you together, just like the universe is held together by a vibration.
Everything is vibration.
Earth, the whole, solar system, everything. So we are vibrating in a certain frequency that holds us together, that looks like we look. That's all we are. We're vibrating at a certain frequency, right? So
That's so Interesting.
Yeah, so between 62 and 78 is the healthy frequency of a human being. But say you didn't get enough rest, say you're sleep deprived, say you're you're dehydrated and you're malnourished from certain foods and minerals, right? Your frequency drops. That's the main reason why your frequency will drop is your minerals, hydration, and lack of rest. Those are three fundamental things that every human being needs.
That's crazy.
So once you default from those three things, your vibration starts dropping. Once it drops to about 60, under 60, like 55, you're gonna start sneezing. You're gonna get a cold.
Wow.
You're gonna get a flu.
That's where all the virus can actually survive.
Virus starts surviving it that
Surviving
way.
in. Wow.
Once you drop down to like in the 40s, cancer start forming
Jeez.
in certain autoimmune disease. Once you get down in the 50s, and 40s. Once you reach 25, when you reach 25, your body no longer can sustain life.
It's done.
Wow.
So think about this, right?
Damn.
When you eat meat that's dead, what frequency is that dead meat vibrating at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you put it in your 62 to 78 megahertz, don't you think it's going to bring down the
It's
vibration
gonna start
of your
subtracting.
Man, like I actually stopped eating meat for about 4 months at one point in my life, man, and it's crazy. Like I feel like you was talking about, like, you know, you start asking yourself questions and stuff like that. I'm start finding myself naturally making good decisions. The words I speak, you know what I'm saying, how I talk to myself, the word, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it changes your whole existence, bro. Like it's
Absolutely.
crazy. Me personally, I can say I felt like eating meat is not the best thing to do, based off my experience. I'm not saying that's what you shouldn't eat meat. You can eat meat, do what you want to do, but just me stopping for a little while, I see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Just me as a person, my mindset, how I think, just decisions I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's not an absolute.
But I just love
necessity.
meat though. It's so hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not telling anybody not to eat.
Exactly,
meat.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying? Because
exactly.
no one can tell me not to eat what I want to
Yeah,
eat.
yeah.
You know, although I think you should be aware.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
Definitely
Whatever
that.
you do, you should be aware. You should be aware of the quantity. You can't just like think that, oh, it's food. Like, I'm just going to eat whatever somebody put in front of me. You know what I'm saying? You should be aware of that this can possibly make me sick or create a lot of stress on my body.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where I come in to try to edify people on and splash some cold water in your face. Like, listen, I'm not telling you not to eat meat. I'm not saying I don't eat meat.
But you're saying this is what can happen
Right.
if you do
But
that.
you should be aware, and, you know, if you really know yourself and know that this is going to hurt you, you're going to make a choice to hurt yourself, or you're going to make a choice to heal yourself.
It's so
you know?
crazy. I feel like today, as this generation, I feel like we actually we might enjoy hurting ourselves, because a lot of us know, like drinking, right? Smoking, all that. We know it's dangerous for us, but we still do it. Like, is it a complex in our brain or something? Like, why do we seem to like
I think
enjoy things that hurt us?
It's the environment. Again, like, we live in a very toxic world. And I think a lot of us, especially if you're very sensitive, if your aura is very sensitive, you're going to obviously be more susceptible to feeling like just the difference in everything in the world. But everyone says, what, pick your poison? So everyone's going to pick their coping mechanism of choice, whether that's drinking or smoking or whatever the case may be. But I think the big difference is, and there's actually like a silent revolution I can call, or I could say, going on. I think
right
it's
now?
yeah, it's mostly in our generation where a lot of people are really wanting to be better and wanting to wake up and be outside of, you know, the matrix and the illusion of everything. And that's honestly what sparked my whole healing journey, and, you know, diving into chakras and really just paying attention to myself. But in doing all of that, I have heard, you know, people that struggle with diseases when they're young and stuff like that, I think it's actually more of a walk of faith. Like, sometimes things happen to you, and they technically call this like a tower moment. But if you're not paying attention to your body, if you're not paying attention to the things that are happening around you or your life in a certain degree, the universe will step in and intervene and kind of make you sit down and really look at yourself or look at your life or whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. But yeah, that's where I jumped into chakras and really learning that, you know, your vibration and your frequency and your energy altogether really does need to be protected and preserved. So not just the energy you're putting in your body, but what energy are you allowing around you?
Around the space, yeah.
So, you know, I really like how you put that. The thing, you know, that I learned is a lot of people say, "Oh, Patrick, you're disciplined," and I'm like,
It's just about action.
"No, I'm not.
He's like, me?
I'm not that disciplined."
Yeah.
Although, you know, I realize that, you know, what discipline is. You know, discipline is simply just a skill, you know,
Develop over time.
that you develop over time. It's a skill. And, you know, you got to practice a particular thing to be skillful at it.
Yes.
Like, you know, you can't just think that, you know, I'm going to go play basketball. I never played before.
And it's gonna be good.
And I'm
And
going to
you're
be
about
a
to be
basketball
Kobe.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be Kobe just because
Yeah.
you're black. You know,
And you wanna play basketball,
Yeah, like I
right.
remember when I first came to America and people saw me, I looked like an athlete, but my sport was track and field and soccer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they would see me on the side like, "Yo, I want that dude."
They'd be like, "You sure you want that dude?"
I didn't know how to use my hands. I never used my hands in my life. Man, I was looking like a clown playing basketball in New York City. And everybody knew how to play basketball. A one-handed dude
In New York.
could play better than me, right? So I had no skills,
Yeah.
right? But over time, I practiced, and, you know, so, but the point I'm trying to make is this, right? Life is a skill.
Facts.
Life is a discipline. You gotta practice how to live to be skillful at it.
Right.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't just depend on culture alone and think that, oh, my mama used to eat this and my grandma ate this, and because food have changed over the years. It
Yeah.
has evolved.
Yeah. And they may not have known any better either.
Right. And not only that, the food they were eating may not have had the hormones that it has in now.
True.
So your grandma, who is 90 years old, you know what I'm saying? She was eating food, you know, meats and drinking milk that didn't have the hormones in it.
Yeah.
You know, and she was not exposed to some of the diseases that we're exposed
Flying
to
around here right now, yeah.
And the stress that we have today, you know what I'm
The
saying?
stress, the distraction, the
Right.
frequencies that's come from different places. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, so we have to understand that tradition can kill you.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't just depend on this tradition that, you know, that we grew up having. Sometimes at this point in our development, we gotta re-educate ourselves,
Yeah.
deprogram ourselves, and recondition ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because if you only stick your life or stick to the programs that we were, you know, taught, then in this world of today,
It's just not gonna work.
it might not work out for you
Yeah,
like it
it's
did
not
your
gonna
grandma.
It's not gonna
it's
work
not
out
gonna
at all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, you might be wearing
Yeah.
a diaper before your grandmother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or your grandfather.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to be careful of that. That you have the power of information now, you know, in your hands. I could tell you anything, and you know more than Einstein in 2 seconds.
Word.
So, you know, don't be ignorant. You
I
know,
just feel like,
don't ignore the
so
truth.
why don't, like, the media, you know what I mean, why they don't push this message more in schools? Like when you look around you, look in the media, the radio, TV, internet, all you see is just negativity. All you see is like, okay, McDonald's promoting some food. Like, why we don't talk about this stuff more in school? Like, I don't understand.
I think I know why. It's a $1 trillion market. I mean, there's probably not even a dollar value you can put on it. But I mean,
It's a big business.
yeah, I mean, even when you look at all the way down to like diagnosing, since we're talking about schools and, children and stuff like that, diet is one big thing, but also look at diagnosis
Yeah.
of a lot of, kids nowadays. And if you ask me, I think there's different types of people.
Yes.
You can't ask a fish to like climb a tree like a monkey, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
to have a whole system that hasn't actually evolved in that sense either, like, yeah, they're pushing the same agenda because they know it sells, is my opinion. So yeah, they've got these kids that are antsy in class and won't sit still, and their teachers says that they need to be prescribed for, ADHD or whatever the case may be. That's still schools bringing in more profit. That's outside of just sports organizations or, things like that. But I mean, it's probably a whole map if you really look at it, as far as the big pharma.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing behind diet, big pharma, because then they wouldn't be able to prescribe people with these diabetic pills or these, whatever
Like
the case may be.
They want you to get sick.
Yeah,
It's
the
good for
pill
profit.
industry
It's good for that,
is crazy.
Right.
I'll just say that. But
and that's why I brought you on here, bro. Cause like we hang out, we talk. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm sipping moringa water. Whenever I need like that energy, that's who I go to. So that's why I was like, you know what? I need you on the platform, bro, because I feel like you have something to say. You know what I mean? And yeah, more people need to hear this stuff, man. You know what I mean? So just doing my little part. So
yeah, your story is very interesting. I was
Yeah.
very intrigued, and like how you got into it, because I know, of course, growing up in Jamaica, you're around those herbs. So I don't know if it was something that was like, passed down in your family, and like, you had been practicing it your whole life, that type of thing. But your story is very different, very interesting. I definitely didn't see
like
that
I can
coming.
tell you this, I'm not super educated on the holistic stuff, right? But one thing I know for a fact, and this is experience. Every time I feel some type of way, you know what I mean, and I go to this guy and he give me some stuff to take, everything just changed instantly. I just feel better. Like, damn, like I be like, dude, like what the hell going on? Like, why do I feel like I just ate life or drink life? It's insane, man. So
Yeah.
I feel like more people need to experience this. You know what I mean? More people need to be exposed to this stuff right here, man.
And with that being said, I mean, do you have an official website? Like, where can they find you and your products and all of that?
Yeah, it's p3-lotus-living.com, or you can hit me up on IG, p3lotusliving. We're going through a lot of changes. I started this company more than 5 years ago. It was really only ready for market 2 years ago, and then COVID hit. 2020, I wasn't able to do any much shows and stuff like that. And I've been through a lot of like I said earlier, humbling experiences, because you can have an idea, like, oh man, I want to change the world. I have the best ideas because I created all these products, and just by seeing what my community needed, and the experiences that I've been through and how these things helped me to become a better version of myself, and and every day, I'm becoming so much more like more in tune with my environment. When I say in tune, so when I started creating P3 Lotus Living, the research that went into it, I was reading every night, hours. Like I said, I try to go to bed. I like to be in bed before 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10. And I did that for many years. But when I started building this business, I was going to bed at 2 o'clock.
Up all hours.
Yeah, and I'm not as sophisticated as you guys. I had a computer, but I never used it.
Yeah.
So I do all of my research on my
books
phone.
And phone. Okay, right.
Yeah, prior to the internet, I bought a lot of books and stuff like that, but started reading. Now I can't see anything because I did so much reading for like 2-3 years, just trying to get all the formulas right and try to make sure that all the herbs was work together. That if you're taking one, it wouldn't hurt. We call that adaptogen. You know, they adapt to other herbs. They adapt to anything that's going on. Even diseases that you don't even know is lingering in your body. The thing is helping. Like you
Wow.
could be like, oh man, I'm having issues with this. And next thing you know, it's helping you with something that is in the back lurking that you didn't even know. So, you know, just making sure that all of my herbs work together. They wouldn't affect any other medications you're taking. If you're taking blood pressure medication,
Nice.
taking diabetic medication or any, you know, other medication, my products, you know, adapt to your body. You know, it's all natural. So
I feel it.
yeah, so you know,
Sure.
it took a long time trying to come up with, you know, all my products to build like, you know, kind of a. So we separated into two categories: cell foods, which is the oral part, the foods that you take orally, and skin foods, which is putting minerals
On your
into your
body,
body
yeah.
through your skin. Because a lot of people think that, you know, minerals, you know, you just always take, oh, I need to drink my sea moss. I need to, you know, whatever. But they don't understand that some minerals are better transported through the skin. And depending on your environment, your skin is, you know, you're not being exposed to certain minerals or exposed to certain, you know, energy forms. So even in my butters, you know, it's a high magnesium butter. That's a 99% of the American population is deficient in magnesium. That's the major. And if your body is deficient in magnesium, it's also deficient in many minerals, especially iron.
Yeah, I could vouch for that one. I'm low with
Right.
low iron levels.
Because you live in inland Georgia here, you don't go to the beach as much, and the foods don't have magnesium in it. So basically, you know, you're not getting one of the number one mineral that helps to accept and appreciate other minerals that's coming in, which is magnesium. So when you put on my magnesium lotion, it's transported to your skin faster than if you took a magnesium pill or whatever, you know, and you know it's gonna help you to bring in more iron, you know, more copper, and all of the other minerals that your body needs. So you could be eating sea moss all day, like, oh, and you don't have enough magnesium in your
It'll
body.
make a difference.
It'll make no difference, you know.
Damn, bro.
So, you know, I try to make sure that I did my research, you know, before coming up with these things. I didn't just do it just for commerce, just for
Yeah.
money. I did it
It's
because
a passion. It's something that it saved your life.
I was
I
gonna say it
almost died.
started
It
with
saved your
you.
life.
Yeah.
yeah, like sea
So-
moss saved my life.
so
Like
yeah.
sea moss had the iodine that my body needed to fortify my body, so you know my levels would stay, you know, consistent, and I wouldn't have to be on like, you know, a Synthroid that would bring it up or another one that would bring it down, and the detox helped to remove the toxins from the body and help my body to become more alkaline. The moringa and the soursop leaf helped to like push out all the, you know, antioxidants. Well, not the antioxidants, all the toxins out of my body.
Yeah.
And offer my body with antioxidants to help my body from all the free radicals that was going around. And just all the poisons in my body just started coming out.
It's coming out.
You know, what else we have over there? Yeah, so basically, right now I just try to keep it simple. I think I'm gonna reduce my 14 products that I have to about 7 or 8.
So it's like 8 products that you want to focus.
Yeah, I want to
more
focus
time
on like
okay.
8 products going forward that will really consolidate. That will really just, you know, help the human to, you know, be a better, like I said, version of themselves.
Man,
Nice.
I love it. I love it, bro. Hey, man, this is dope. This is dope, bro. Thank you for coming through, bro. Like, you just offer so much value, man. This is
I
amazing,
appreciate
bro.
that.
Like, I just felt like we've been talking, but it's just like, I'm like, yo, the world need to hear hear this stuff, bro. Like,
Great
it needs-
knowledge,
Yeah, so
yes.
this is dope, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man. So, yeah,